What's the other big story today? Oh, yeah, the president did a crime. He did another damn crime.
Wait, what did the president do this time?
He called up the Secretary of State of Georgia and said, give me the votes. Just give me the votes. And he's like, there's no way to do this. There's no mechanism. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I haven't actually listened to the tape. Should I listen to it? Is it a long
There's
clip?
actually a longer version coming out. That's probably going to be out when this episode comes out. No, you don't have to do it. It's just he does another crime, and AOC said we should impeach him, and he did a federal crime, and it's like nothing bad's going to happen to him, so why worry about it?
Well, there's no accountability for anyone.
There's no legal accountability. The president has proven that he's above the law. Like, we've firmly established this. That if you're the president, you're above the law. We do not prosecute our presidents in this country. I mean, if Bernie Sanders were president, yeah, he'd probably fucking get arrested midway through his term. Yeah,
they'd lula him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. But a guy like Trump, he's never going to get arrested. So don't even worry about it. So just don't even bother. Yeah, he committed crimes. It's awful.
Do you think if they lulaed Bernie, that we'd actually, if that would be a thing that would spark the kinds of riots and activity in the streets that you see in other countries? Or do you think that Americans would still be like, meh? I mean, we did vote for him, but I didn't like him that much.
Well, I mean, it would happen to him unless he's smart enough to do what Castro did and arm the peasantry.
We keep coming back to this. Killer Mike was right. Part of comment.
Hey, that was great. That was a great app. That was awesome. Killer Mike was awesome. Well, what was I saying? What the hell was I going with that?
The Trump crimes, the tapes.
Oh, yeah, right. So Trump did a bunch of crimes. This is all going to culminate in January 6th, where, as we've talked about on the show, we laid all of this out. It's funny, we laid all of this out 3 months ago on this show. With our episode with Hassan Piker and Megan Day, and prayers up for Megan Day right now. He's going through a very difficult situation.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Osita Wanevu, we laid out all the stuff, and like you've watched all the stuff that we've been talking about. We laid out all the juncture points where they might, screw with this thing. And now we're at the final one, January 6th. Congress counts the electoral votes. Pence is going to preside over it. And something like 11 Republican senators have said, we're going to object to the vote. Half of these are running for president in 2024. So, and they know right now, if you're a Republican, and, the Republicans, but by 85% of them think the election was stolen. Which is it's absolutely insane. A third of the country just straight out says the election was stolen. You've got to placate those people. And so they're going to object to the vote. A bunch of House members are going to object to the vote. And then we'll see what happens. They're going to, there's no actual thing. This is all basically theater. Because Ted Cruz doesn't really give a shit. Doesn't really care. He probably has more power under a Biden presidency than under a Trump presidency, to be honest with you.
Well, is this really, I saw people, having the conversation about whether or not this was just a terrible gamble by Republicans who think that kind of residual Trump support is going to be worth anything after Trump is gone. And that placating the people who, think the election was stolen is just going to backfire enormously once we get past Trumpism and we return to normalcy.
It's 85% of your party. It's everyone. You want to win an election as a Republican? You want to win a primary? Okay, you got to placate 85% of Republicans.
This argument when Trump got elected, there was this discussion about whether or not he was really a majority, like he really represented the Republican Party, right? Because, he just snuck through because it was such a crowded field and he never got more than 30% of the vote. And his base is strong, but it's been just hovering around that hardcore, 33% of Republicans. And everyone thought that this election was going to be a referendum where all of the Lincoln Project types would have convinced the Republicans to come back on board and see the light. Now that they know who Trump really is, and he's not just going to be this fun kind of change agent who can throw a monkey wrench in the machinery and be an outsider and such. But it seems to have stuck.
It's stuck. He's whipped them up into a frenzy just by posting the election was stolen over and over again.
It's almost as though maybe leftists should try that strategy. Posting about 2,000 checks and posting about Medicare for all and posting about.
A lot of people are posting about it. Mitch McConnell's house was vandalized about it. So.
Yeah, well, wasn't it?
The anger there is real, and Nancy
Pelosi's.
And Nancy Pelosi's, yeah. But yeah, so they're going to count the votes, and Pence again. All indication is that he is going to, as president of the Senate, he's going to. Be the chair of this meeting, and they're going to hear the objection. They're going to, they're going to spend 2 hours deliberating it. It's going to be a bunch of speeches and bullshit, and then they're going to vote. on the objections, and they're going to be voted down by both houses because a handful of Republicans, like Mitt Romney and Lisa Murkowski, have said, like, no, we're not going to entertain this. And then that should be it. I mean, if you really wanted to screw things up, and by screw things up, I just mean waste everyone's time, you could just object to every single state and DC. Just object 51 times and force everyone to deliberate it for 2 hours each time, and just have this session go on for 105 hours.
Virgil, but that's theater, and theater doesn't matter. Theater is meaningless. If you do something in politics that can't concretely result in the passage of a bill, it's just not even worth doing.
I mean, it'd be funny if they did it and just wasted everyone's time, and then Congress had to do this for a week and count the electoral votes.
Yeah, and it would whip people up, and it would get folks in the streets, like the wrong people. But, like,
well, yeah, like
of course
the
that kind of
evil
stuff
people,
works.
yeah.
Republicans doing stunts like that forever is why their base is hungry and happier than ours.